that it might make it a little bit harder for the Pies, but when you have players that are outside your best 22 come in and have that sort of impact on the clear, it's a little bit about the Collingwood brand too. It's the next man in has an expectation to rise to the occasion. So yeah, positive sign. The Pies play on what it needs to do. The reverse really a reasonable losing race against the Collingwood. These Pies, yeah, I think it's pretty good. They need to learn to like about their midfield. I just think if they can control the clearance and the possession, provide their forwards the best possible supply, I just think it's pretty well and down they get on top of the midfield. The next element for the Brisbane Lions is they've got to make Collingwood's defenders defend. So if Wood, Morris, Day, they've got to bring the ball to ground and then just let their forwards hunt from. And if they can control the tempo of the game, which is sort of time in possession style that Brisbane play had together. So they spoke to do that last week. Melbourne Oval is playing was very thin. They couldn't really get that sort of switch and control the game with kick and mark, but they can do that together. So they've got to control the tempo of the game and they just can't play conservative against Collingwood. I think sides would go in with a conservative mindset about not turning the ball over. You've got to play aggressive offensive footy against the Pies. You've got to try and fight off a bit more than what you choose if you're going to score against this really good Collingwood defence at the moment. Yep, indeed. All right, so that's Collingwood actually. That's Brisbane today. Big day. Any side of move? Well, I guess it's Stokely. He's the one that would typically do it. He's the normal run with player. You've got to do something with him. I mean, he played so well last week. Jordan had a tight tag on him. Yeah. But he just found ways to outwork and get some really good positions. Was good inside. Just going to let Dacos have some contested positions. I wouldn't mind as much if he won that in and under stuff. Yeah. But if he's getting it on the outside and trying to space, good night. So yeah, you need to have someone within goal side when he's outside the contest. But yeah, he's a hard man to shut down. Collingwood, what do they need to do to win at the Gabba against Brisbane? Well, the thing I like about them is their front.
Is it in the right side?
Elite Bodyworks we're looking for.
Bodyworks. Elite Bodyworks. Yeah, probably a little bit further.
They're rated really highly for their post clearance and contested wins. So
Street Elite Bodyworks.
Yeah.
Right here. Stop.
Oh, here? Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, Street Elite, yeah.
Yep, that's it.
No worries, mate.
Thank you, my friend.
No worries, take care.
You too.
Thank you.
Not to come back to Melbourne, then another day of travel.
Thank you, mate.
Gone
Thank you.
directly up there. So that's 5 days up there, which will be interesting. Lions are coming off a 5-day break, and it was hot at Norwood Oval, but you'd think they'd be acclimatised to that sort of warmer weather.
Suspicions weren't enough. They would need hard evidence, the kind that could help them prove in court who had written the posts. And as far as the woman and their families knew, that's where the police were leaving it. They didn't hear much, if anything, from the detectives after giving their statements. But as the new year turned into spring and then summer, the anonymous poster got bolder, uploading hundreds of new photos. These young women watched in horror as a barrage of deep-faked nude images, pictures of them as young as 13, flooded the Tributing website.
Seeing these horrible things and people commenting on what we look like and, putting our faces on screenshots of porn videos.
New accounts with names like Tween Hunter were posting and reposting increasingly graphic fakes. Some of the threads reached 30,000 views. Full names, addresses, phone numbers, and actual social media handles went up next to the images. The poster was encouraging others to reach out to the woman, to send them voice notes threatening to rape them to death. By the spring of 2021, some of the Levittown women were getting direct messages to their Facebook, Instagram and Snapchat accounts, their photos beside male genitalia or covered in semen. Others got late night calls from foreign numbers. When they picked up, they only heard heavy breathing and moaning. Kayla told me that she didn't want to live in fear, but she did. She lived in fear of going outside, in fear of men, in fear of being herself. She had nightmares of men hunting her.
I could hear them like trying to find me, and they would like say my name, and like they would say the things from the website, like the milk me and pee on her, like they were saying those things while trying to find me.
She also dreamt that the images on the website had come true, that she had the words "rape me" tattooed on her forehead, just as she'd seen on the website.
I mean, I live every single day scared of men. I mean, not all men, but strangers, yes, all the time, because God forbid it's someone that was on that website that's just passed me on the street. You don't know that, and that's scary.
Suddenly, I'm not posting my face on my Instagram because I don't know who's gonna find it, you know? And I directed so much guilt and so much of his hate towards myself.
Most of the Levittown women turned their social media accounts to private, but many deleted them altogether. One dropped out of college, another told me she lost 20 pounds from the stress. Two confided that they'd started carrying knives everywhere they went. These are the stories we heard from the women who agreed to talk to us. We reached out to many others who either didn't respond or didn't want to talk about it.
I felt horrible for the main victims. I mean, we are all victims, but there were some people who had it much worse.
Leah may not have been the main target. Others found dozens and dozens of posts with their image and likeness, but still, whoever was doing this posted Leah's full name and phone number on the site. She worried what would happen if someone, or anyone really, an employer, a romantic partner, ever Googled her.
I was really worried about my future because I wanted to, go to medical school, and I was worried about the safety of all of my friends, and what if these pictures, get leaked to their family members, and they can ruin relationships because some of them were so realistic. This could ruin many people's lives.
As the months went by, the women reported that the harassment was escalating. Their parents were terrified, not only because of what their children were going through, but because the police didn't seem to be doing much. Cyber harassment cases are notoriously hard to prove. Gathering digital evidence can be time-consuming and hard to capture, and most perpetrators cover their tracks. Many of the parents created their own group chats to brainstorm what to do. They were outraged that their daughters were still being targeted, while the person they believed was responsible for all this was right there among them in Levittown. If law enforcement couldn't do anything about it, they were going to have to do something themselves.
On this day I will prevail, despite a bookweek costume fail. Your dream life's getting closer, sleeping on
Run a business and not thinking about podcasting? Think again. More Americans listen to podcasts than ad-supported streaming music from Spotify and Pandora. And as the #1 podcaster, iHeart's twice as large as the next two combined. So whatever your customers listen to, they'll hear your message. Plus, only iHeart can extend your message to audiences across broadcast radio. Think podcasting can help your business? Think iHeart. Streaming, radio, and podcasting. Let us show you at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
How could a beautiful young first grade teacher be stabbed 20 times, including in the back, allegedly die of suicide? Yes, that was the medical examiner's official ruling. After a closed-door meeting, he first named it a homicide. Why? What happened to Ellen Greenberg? A huge American miscarriage of justice. for an in-depth look at the facts. See What Happened to Ellen on Amazon. All proceeds to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
That summer, 2021, one of the Levittown women saw an image that almost broke her. We recorded an interview with her, but she wasn't comfortable using her actual voice. So the things she said in that interview will be voiced here by someone else.
I've learned not to trust anybody. I'm very private with things now. I don't really talk to anybody that I don't trust. And don't be so naive, because that was my problem. I'm too nice.
The photo that almost broke her was a photo of herself smiling, wearing jeans and a white tank top. Beside that, appeared to be a deep fake of a woman in the exact same outfit, her hands tied behind her back, covered in blood, with a plastic bag over her head. The caption said her body had been found near an abandoned construction site, that she'd been raped. We're calling her Kat because she asked not to be identified by her real name. But the post she found listed her real name and claimed a snuff video of her murder was circulating on the dark web.
I'd had enough. It had to stop. I was like, okay, this is like more serious and I need to know. I just need to know who it is, you know?
She was aware that others thought they knew who was behind all this, but the suspect was a guy she'd known since she was 5. They grew up 3 blocks away from each other.
In my head, I was almost defending him. I was like, I don't think it's him. There's no way it's him.
In high school, they'd had a lot of classes together, including a Photoshop class. And while they didn't hang out, they were still sort of friends. Like they would Snapchat occasionally outside school.
In high school, he got a little bit more like I don't really give a shit vibe about anything. He was smart, so like, he knew what he was talking about, you know? But anybody who said anything to him is just like, okay, I don't care. I'm smarter than anybody.
Kat talks about him in the same way Cecilia does. He would troll her at times, but was also smart and could be fun. He knew how to push her buttons, calling her naive. He'd tell her the world was full of shitty people. And sure, you want everything to be okay, but it's not. She knew all this, but she didn't think, or maybe didn't want to think, it was him. She thought perhaps that she would be able to both clear his name and figure out who was doing this once and for all.
Then that's when I went on the website. I sat there for I had to look at things I did not want to look at.
From her bedroom at night, she carefully examined every post the suspected harasser made.
I spent hours going through it. And then I went to videos of his own page where he would post himself.
Kat found that the person posting deepfakes of her and her classmates was also posting explicit pictures of himself on the website.
He would post things of himself. Pictures of himself, not his face, like his body and his parts.
She found one picture where he appeared to be wearing girls' underwear while standing in a little girl's bedroom.
Let me look in the background. Let me see if I could see anything in the background. So I saw stuffed animals and I was like, all right, let me see.
She saw a white dresser with brown trim and a stuffed toy sloth on the bed. Kat knew the guy everyone suspected had younger twin sisters.
So I went on his TikTok and I looked up his sister. And then I had the same exact stuffed animals in the same background. And I was like, okay.
His sister was posting dance videos to TikTok. And they were filmed in the same bedroom with the white dresser and brown trim. Even that stuffed toy was in the same spot on the bed.
Oh my God, This is crazy. It really is him.